Good morning, Flosstube. It is Tuesday, March 29th. I am Helen D. and welcome. Thank you for taking some time to stitch with me or catch up and spend some time with me today, whether it's the 29th for you or a different day. I know I am woefully behind on my floss tubes. As always, it seems these days it's hard to catch up. I hope everyone had a good couple of weeks. I have had some new subscribers, so a big hello to you if you're just joining me. I'm not always sure how people find me, but I'm happy to have you. I am actually closing in on 10,000 subscribers, which completely blows my mind. Never in a million years did I think that would happen. I am planning a little something, and I've been working with Carla to plan a little something from Cobweb Corner, so that's coming up. I've been busy stitching away. Life-wise, it's been a very standard week. It finally warmed up. I think we're done with the snow. We've had some rain. That's a good sign because it could have been snow. This weekend we were able to get out and break out the garden, like the flower beds. I've got some bulbs, like just poking. I planted a bunch of bulbs last year and I don't even really remember what I put where, so I'm excited to see what happens. My sedum, some of them are starting to poke through. I've got a couple other things that are just like, ooh, look, it's green. And we planted our seedlings. We're trying seedlings this year for the first time. We'll see how that goes. We had to do it. We had to put our setup in the basement because we don't really have any space else in the house that the cats wouldn't just trash the seedlings, and that would, why bother? So they're downstairs. So trying to get them up to temperature has been tricky to germinate. Other than that, the only other big news, I'm finally allowed back inside at tennis. My son plays tennis 3 times a week. It's 2 of the days are like skills and drills, and then Fridays is like matches. Because of COVID, parents hadn't been able to be inside. There's like an upstairs area that looks out over the courts, but they had used that space to pull some machines out to kind of spread things out and keep people distanced. So parents weren't allowed up there. We had been last summer, and then in like October, we got the boot. So I spent all winter in my car or dropping him off and running a quick errand, but we were able to go back in. So Tuesday and Thursday, like I said, are like skills. And then Friday was matches, and he came out and I was like, I haven't seen you play a match. He did a tournament on Halloween. So that was the last time I saw you play. You've gotten so much better. Like there's been a distinct improvement. I mean, it was like 5 months, right? So there should be, but yeah, so he looked really good. So he said he played especially well that night. So it's been nice to go back inside and actually see him. I still bring my stitching in. I can stitch while I watch him. The lighting is good enough. I bring something that I can see. I only have things that I can see, so that's not an issue, but nothing on black. I won't stitch on black there. So before I jump into what I've been stitching, are you guys tired of me, by the way? Because I've put out like a ton of videos lately, it seems. So I did put out the flip through of my finished objects, waiting none too patiently to be fully finished. I missed a couple, so I'll show you those. And we'll jump in because they are my only FFO. My only fully finished was the eggs from Satsuma Street. And I did record the tutorial on these. So I finished. There's 4 of them. I've stitched 3. And I did the tutorial, which is up. That's the 3rd. There's a 4th one in the chart. I need to grab my stand. I have a tall ornament hanging stand that I think I'm going to put back there to hang these on. So that's on the agenda for today. So those are done. I did them in a way that I hadn't done before, where I can take the hanger off. I just held it on with pins, and that way if I change my mind in the future and I want to put them in a dough bowl or a basket, they'll just tuck right in. Though, like I said in my video, the way these hang, because of that, I could tuck them right in with this hanger and they'd be fine. So thank you for all of the comments on that. I did have a couple of questions about some things stemming from the finish parade, so I'll go over those kind of after I've shown. Just looking to see where to put those in my stitching. By the way, that chart is called Oology. It's by Satsuma Street. Actually, I have it right here. So, what haven't I done? The purple one. We got a new game that I found. My husband had seen it and thought, oh, this one looks like it would be interesting. Now I can't put that back. It's called Wingspan. And it's like a birding, egg collecting. It's right up our alley. There's like 10 bazillion pieces. So that's how we like our games. So we were playing that, and there's these different cards that are like bonus cards, and they all have different names. So one of them was Oologist, and my son was trying to pronounce it. He's like, I don't even know what that means. I said, oh, that's the study of eggs. And he looked at me like, well, how do you know that? I said, from my cross stitch. So, and the Oologist card was the one that had an egg on every bird. So that made perfect sense. So, finished stitching. I'll show you the two. These are the two that this one I couldn't find. When I did that FO parade, it had fallen on the floor. So this is Heaven and Nature Sing. This is by Barbie Pedal Pusher. You can probably see right through it. I stitched this last year and hope to get it finished for this Christmas/winter season. I adore these colors. I think they're fantastic. And then the other one that I had forgotten because I keep it on a roll, this has been stitched for a while, 2019 I think, is Happy Christmas by Prairie Schooler. And this one is just a smidge too big for an 8x10 frame. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. So those are the two that I forgot. I don't remember if I used all the called for colors in that one. I might have switched out the green. There. I keep a bag over here to put stuff in, but those both are black, and there's cat hair all over the bottom of this bag. So I don't want them to be the first things in. So the other thing that I stitched and finished was a new start. I showed it last video. This is called How Does Your Garden Grow? And it's a new market release from Barbie at Pedal Pusher. And it's 11 different mini charts that then you can decide how you want to put them together. So I love this. I thought it was such a creative idea. I thought I had this one here. She has on an easel. You get these easels at Michael's, and I knew I had one. I do, but it's tiny. I don't have the big one that would fit 3, but I did find something that would fit 2, or I might just turn it into a pillow. So this was my car project last week. My fabric wasn't quite big enough, so I just had to sew regular on so that I could fit it on my Q-snap. So I chose to do these two designs. So those blossoms were really fun to stitch in a little greenhouse. So I stitched them together. I left 2 stitches in between, and then when I was done, I decided to fill in the stitches, and I did like a step down. I just put like 2 and then 1 on both sides. So I think I may end up turning this into a pillow. It will actually probably look quite a bit like this one on the cover. So that is done. I loved it. It was great. I used all the DMC. I did have to change my door color because this is it's a light blue 32 count Lugana, and the called for color was just, it didn't match it clashed with my fabric. You couldn't see it. That's what I'm trying to say. So that one is done. Then I needed a new car project. So I pulled out this one, and I'll show you the stitching first because I stitch when I am waiting at the school, and then I take it to tennis. And I have a friend who picks up her daughter, and she knows I stitch in the car. And she was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, she knows it's stitching. She said, that's just a big purple blob. Because at that point it really was just the blob. I didn't have the brown blob with it. So I don't know what you're doing there. And I said, well, it looks like a blob now, but it will look like the most adorable snail with a needle. So this is called Count Twice, Stitch Once. Unfortunately, this was an exclusive to market from 2018. I don't know how readily available this one is. An Instagram friend had sent it to me, so I'm like, I'm gonna stitch this up. I think I'm using a fog, Picture This Plus fog. It was a scrap, it was the right size. And I pulled Classic Colorworks floss to use it. This one is called Red Rock. And I think that one's Almond Latte. It only calls for a handful, like 5 colors, if that. Almond Latte. So I've got a few colors, and I'm working away on that. And he's pretty quick, and he's great for stitching in the car because it's like big blocks. Like, I outlined his little inner shell, I guess, and then I'm just filling it in. So I can do that at tennis. All right. Moving on to whips. This is a whip, but it's kind of a finish, I guess, because I joined Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's new stitch along. It's called Under the Sea, and the first part came out Friday, and this is what I worked on this weekend. So it's these 2 dolphins and a little mermaid. So that is all done. So this is all of part 1. It will go the long way, and I'm using Picture This Plus Haven 14 count. I very much appreciate that this stitch along on a 14 count or on a 16 count fits in a standard size frame. I think it will fit in, I think it's 9 by 12 on 14, so it will fit right in an 11 by 14 frame with an inch on both sides. And then if you bumped it down or up, however you like to think it, to a 16, I think it would fit in a 9 by 12. So it was perfect. Also, how perfect is the bag I put it in? This is one of my bags from Cool Thing with Nico with the handle. I got this one last year and I adore it because of these seagulls. So that one I had to put in that bag. It was a must. So I've been working on that. The other one that I had been working on that bag was open, I just closed it. Whoops. Well, this one is not the one I thought it was. So we'll just show you this one first because it's not going to be very impressive this week. This is Faraway Times, which is my Chrono Trigger piece of the video game from Pick Stitch that I'm stitching for my husband and son for their nerd wall. There's Chrono down there. So it's half a clock face. I work on this on Mondays and Tuesdays. So this week I finished the bottom and I moved up. I showed it last week, but I have it on my phone. So I can show you the picture pretty easily. I finished the bottom, which was big. So now I'm up to the top, and I think I am 70-ish% done in Pattern Keeper. So I finished this section and the clock hand and down here all the way around up to him. So I have this top part and this stuff left. So it's still a lot, but I'm getting there. So working on it the 2 days a week is really making a difference. And I'm actually really excited because when this one is done, I'm going to move something else that's a big project into that Monday and Tuesday and work on it and see what I can get done. So far yesterday, it was an outlining day. I got all of this black done and then started filling in right here, these dark colors. This is on a mystery fabric that I got from my sister that I believe is from Mystic Fabrics. I also believe it's a 16 count, but I'm not really sure. So this one, I'm plugging I'm plugging away. This is Our Lasting Friendship by Blackbird Designs. And it's a beautiful design, and we stitched it with, I'm even taking it out of the Q-snap for you guys. This was a stitch along we did, like a round robin with my main stitch groove. We started this in the fall of 2019. So it just feels like it's taking forever. But I'm almost. So this is the full piece as charted. So what we did is we said, okay, everyone choose their own fabric and their own floss if you want something different, and then we'll pass it around. And when it's your turn, stitch some motifs and then stitch your initials in the middle. And then whoever it was, like I was responsible for stitching the inside border and the words. That's how we kind of started it. And then when it's done, the outside border. So mine is on 18 count, picture this plus dapple, which dapple's one of those funny ones that in a 16 count it's more gray, but on this 18 it's like a tarnished greeny gray. So here it is. So I'm getting there. I still had quite a bit of work to do on mine when I got it back, which is fine. I just had to plug away. I stitched, what side is it? All of these. I had to do this one, some bits up here, and I'm up here. I'm on this final corner. I'm on the last berry bowl. I think I've told you those berry bowls were not my favorite. And then I'll have to do the border and figure out the middle. My friend Wendy, when she had it, and then I showed it on a video like when I got it back at the end, and she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put my initials in. So Wendy's initials need to go in and my initials need to go in. And on the chart, there's a little house in there. So I'm trying to decide. Some people left this bird off and put another set of initials up here, like their own. But that bird is already on mine, so I might leave the house off and fit them both in there. Remains to be seen. I should see Wendy at the Frugal Yankee retreat, so my goal is to have it ready for Wendy to put her initials in at that retreat, because that will only take her a minute. Not like those berry bowls. So that one, I'm leaving it on the Q-snap, and then I gave it a full weekend. I gave it a full like 4 days. But now I told my sister, I said, my goal is to just leave it on the Q-snap and every once in a while pick it up and put a little in it. When I finished the Under the Sea, it was Sunday night. I knew I was starting chrono on Monday, so I said, all right, berry bowl. So I put a little stitching in it. Now I can put my black fabrics in there. Whoops, and I left the chart out. There we go. All right, so that's what I've been stitching. So like I said, I had a couple questions that I thought I'd do now. Couple things. One came up a couple times. A few people asked, this was actually in the strawberry finishing tutorial. They said if we wanted to do a hanger on our berries, how would you do that? To which I said, that is a good question. I've never put a hanger on my berries. How would I do that? So this is how I would do that. So this berry here has been languishing without its top since last Christmas. So I grabbed it to show you. So I grabbed a couple, I just grabbed just the cheap craft felt, and I cut out 2 circles. They're not even symmetrical. They're just circles. So I'm gonna do two options. If you wanted to do a ribbon hanger, so like I had a piece of ribbon, I cut my ribbon and then I just tied the ends together in a knot. And what I would do is take my wool and just fold it in half and cut a little slit in my wool, and then just pop that knot down in, and then I would kind of sew it up. I'd sew it up so that then that won't pull out, and then I would take a button, a big button, and on the top, I'd put my button in the middle. So again, you're giving that ribbon some extra stability. And still, if you wanted leaves or other bits and bobs, you still have all kinds of space to kind of put those on there. So that is how I would do one with a ribbon. If you wanted to do one with a thinner hanger, so like I pulled out some baker's twine. The baker's twine, I took a different circle, I cut 2 little holes, and then I put my baker's twine, if I licked the end of it, or if you had a needle with a big enough hole, you can put it right through a big button and then right through those 2 holes. Now you probably could just poke it through. No problems. Let me see. Yeah, you can just poke it through. Or I used this tool, which is called a bodkin. So it has a little round end on one side and then a hole on the other side. This is used for pulling elastic through things, or like a ribbon through, like through a bag, like a drawstring bag. You would put it through there and then you push this and kind of keep pulling it. This worked great for kind of tucking that through. I got that, it's a BODKIN, and I'm pretty sure I got mine at Michael's. Not Michael's, Joann's. Joann's is the close one to me. So then I would tie this off however long I wanted it on the bottom, and then I've got it through on my button, and it would stay right there. And again, if you wanted other bits and bobs, I would put them on, if you wanted leaves, you might put them on after, but that's how I would attach those hangers. If you have like this knot on the bottom, this knot on the bottom is not really gonna be a problem, because when I fill my berries, I don't cinch them all the way to the top, so I have fillings. So if I put it on there and it felt bumpy, I could just pull some stuffing out or make a little hole with my finger to kind of nestle that down in so that it would still lay nice and smooth. So that's my thoughts. That's my strawberry hanging thoughts. The other thing people asked is, when I showed those Nora Corbett reindeer, I had a few people ask, when I bead, where do I put the beads? What do I do with the beads? So I have made my own, I MacGyvered together a beading needle minder. I know that It's Charm School sells a beading needle minder. Mine is roughly the same thing. So I had a button, a flat back button, that I was going to turn into a needle minder. So I had a sheet of, and I couldn't find it to show you, it was like a 5x5 sheet. It was called Beadalian Sticky Mat. It's a beading mat. I cut a circle, which is really hard to get a circle, by the way, on that. So I cut this wonky circle bit, and I used a little tiny piece of my double-sided stitchery tape to stick that bit to the back side of this button. I kept, if you can see, the plastic, because when I'm not using it, I put the plastic back on so that it doesn't pick up lint and all that. The great stuff about this blue stuff, the sticky mat, when it does pick up lint and all that, I had to do this the last time I used it. I just peeled it off my sticky tape, rinsed it in some water, kind of just held on to it and flipped it around until it dried, stuck it back on. It's sticky again. So this pin is metal, so I don't even have a magnet on here. I just use another magnet on the back of my fabric, and it holds right on my Q-snap. I put a few beads on, I kind of squish them on with my thumb, and they don't fall off. And then as I bead, I can kind of dip on here and grab what I need. I also keep my stuff in a little, I have a little tin. This is my beading tin. So I keep I have Nymo thread and some beading needles, and I keep this in there. I put a magnet in the tin, so this just sticks right in there. And then I just keep that with my reindeer. So that's that. All right, the other side of the table has stuff. I had a couple of gifts, and then I have a bunch of giveaways, and then I have a tiny bit of haul. So let's do gifts first because they're closest to me. My friend Kat, who is in Massachusetts and runs the Frugal Yankee, has a Zoom. She sent me this sweet card, and she made these Star Wars, it's upside down, these Star Wars coasters that she sent me for the nerd room area. So that was really sweet. So I have 4 of these coasters. She might have used Elizabeth Ann's. I know she has a little tutorial on how to do these. So those are super cute. Thank you, Kat. Shelly reached out and said she had a couple charts that she was done with if I wanted them to either keep to stitch or use as a giveaway. I need to stitch these first before they're a giveaway because I didn't have any of them. They're all Brenda Gervais. I'd never even seen this one. This is called Bluebird Out My Window. Very good for spring. It's 2015, so it's a smidge older. And then these are eggs. So this one has this middle egg. She actually didn't use the fabric that you use for the other eggs, and a blue. So thank you very much, Shelly. Those are going on my to be stitched. And then Misty, Luminous Fiber Arts, sent me a gift for my birthday. She had said, I'm late on your birthday because market, but maybe I'll find you some goodies at market. So I got a package from Misty. Misty always finds the cutest cards. They don't sell cards like this around here. So adorable card. She picked this chart up for me at market. This was on my list. I love this chart. It's a Plum Street called This Is the Day. I will likely, this will take some time to stitch because it's big. I will likely end it right there and just do that beautiful pink house. You can't really see them, but there's goats, like that bird's on a goat, and there's a goat on the flowers. I love the colors. It's big. 202 by 170. So it's not like super huge, but for me it's big. This was, Kathy and Missy of Two Needles Pulling Thread, my other main friends. Kathy was saying that she loves this chart and she didn't pick it up yet, but it was a market exclusive, so she doesn't know if she can. You totally can. What that means is it's an exclusive to the stores that attended market for like the first month, maybe 6 weeks, and then the designers can release it to distributors and to anyone else. So if you didn't get this and you can't find it, it will be out. Some really cute scissors, which she said are great for wool. They are by Karen K. Buckley's Perfect Scissors. And it's funny, the day these came, someone else reached out to me through a video and suggested a pair of these scissors. I think those might have been a little bit different. They were curved. They were curved scissors, but they were these Karen K's. And I said, oh my gosh, I just got some in the mail. So I can open those. The new Gentle Arts colors. They released 2 new colors at market, and a new wool. I've never used their wool. I need to. So the wool is called Misty Harbor. It's like a purplish gray. It's more of a gray. And then Cobblestone and Distressed Denim. And they're very variegated. So those are super cute. And then the Pierce de Resistance. This little box, I open up. The world's cutest Peeps pins. She said, I had to get you these. They reminded me of the chart you did last year. Yeah, they sure do. So I have 2 of the Peeps, and it had this really fun swirly egg that I tucked right in there. And then I'll put the other Peeps on one of my others, but I just wanted to show you them first. So this was the Easter chart I designed last year. This is a freebie. It's in my link tree as just a straight PDF. I will put that below. And they're so cute. Oh, and I've had a couple of people ask about this fabric. I had this fabric. For anyone in Maine, I found this fabric at Martin's like 3 years ago. That's like a salvage store. I believe the salvage says Michael Miller. So I don't know if this is something you can still get, but this was a Michael Miller Peeps fabric. So thank you, Misty. Now I gotta leave those pins up to put down here. Giveaways. Let me adjust my piles. So giveaways. One thing about giveaways. One change, giveaway change. I've had, and I mentioned this last video too, I've had a few giveaways that no one has contacted me. So starting now, we're going to do, if you're announced a winner for a giveaway, my email is down below so that you can reach out to me. I will still comment on your comment, and then I will give you 2 videos to get back to me before I draw a new winner. So I know last video I had done a last call. I did redraw that giveaway. So if I announce you and I don't hear from you by my next video, I will do a last call. And then if I don't hear from you again, we will redraw, just because they kind of pile up and I forget what video I listed them in and I have to go back and my brain's not that good. So, last call will go to Gigi Williams and Kathy Snavely, S-N-A-V-E-L-Y. You had both been winners from the last video. So if I don't hear from you by my next video in 2 weeks, I will redraw. This one I redrew. This was Oology. I have a PDF, so this is like the printed. This came from Carla at Cobweb Corner, and this went to Susan Lusk. And Susan, I saw that you emailed me, so I'm going to get back to you probably before you even see this. So, last week's. Let's do last week's giveaways. Change in season. Last week we had 6. We had 6 giveaways. The first 2 were donated by Carla at Cobweb Corner. The Prairie Schooler Santa. And a lot of people asked, what are my thoughts on it saying Arctic lights? Because penguins aren't in the Arctic. When I stitch this, I will leave that out. And I will probably put the year. Or maybe I'll find a way to flip this and just give them an extra baby with an extra string of lights. If there's the same amount of room, I could easily do that. So, Prairie Schooler Santa went to Norette Herzog, Prairie Schooler Santa. The Blossom House, number 2, Sandra Lee. The next 2 giveaways were from Penny at Cobweb Corner, Penny at thedailystitcher.com. The cookbook from Market, Jane Moore. Jane, I think you emailed me too already, so that's on my list. The piece is Sunny or Sonny Kinnaman. And then the last 2 giveaways were from Barbie at Pedal Pusher. These were 2 of her new releases. Green Energy went to Susan Browning, and Garden Grow, a second copy, went to Brandy Wilhelm. So get back to me. I'll give a last call next week if I don't hear from you, and then I will redraw. This week, I have 2 more giveaways from Carla at Cobweb Corner because she's always so generous. She's been uploading new charts like crazy. Every time I'm on, I follow her on Facebook and she'll post, you know, if she has new stuff in stock. And I'm like, Carla, you've been busy. So she's been busy. There's lots of new stuff. So this week we have 2 charts. The first one is ink circles. It's called Blue Velvet. And this one's very simple. It's just a mandala. You could do it in absolutely any color combination you wanted to. She says on the back, this is done on a 28 count. She used sulky blendables, and she said she used 1 spool of linen, that 1 spool of sulky, and that was enough. And she does say she said there are 4,188 stitches. It would take 2 skeins of DMC 2/2. So if you're interested in this one, please use the word blue. And then second, we have Be Joyful by Needle Bling Design. And if you're interested in this one, say the word B, B-E-E. You need to be over 18 so you can legally give me your address. Please don't use the word giveaway or win. And I'd appreciate it if you were a subscriber. Go check out Carla's page, her videos. You can subscribe to her as well. All the things. And then one more, a viewer sent in a copy of Spring Berries for people doing the berry stitch along, the hashtag berry season Sal. So if you're interested in this one, use the word Robin, R-O-B-I-N. And we'll get that one out. All right, so thank you very much for those. It's a mess over here. Purchases, just a couple things. When Carla sends charts for you guys, she also sends charts for me. And this time I had her send, she had just restocked her Nora Corbetts and Mirabilias, and I can't resist. Even though I've only stitched 3 reindeer and 1 witch, my collection is growing. So this one is, I had to look, Gigi. This is one of the Bewitching Pixies. And then this was a newer one, and it's called Spellbound. In the newer format, there are pros and cons. This format, the chart is inside, right, and it's all folded up. This chart, it's like the cardstock, but the chart is across the fold. So I make a working copy anyway, but this would be very difficult for me to stitch from. So keep that in mind. And then when she was sending those, I said, all right, well, I'm gonna buy the bead packs, so shove everything in the same envelope. So Carla does stock the Mirabilia and Nora Corbett bead packs, so I got the ones for both to tuck in with those. Also, people asked if those Christmas Courier reindeer charts are still available. They absolutely are. Carla carries them and the bead packs. I had a purchase come in from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher. This was my other market pre-order. I said I had ordered 2 pieces of fabric. They're both from Fortnite and they're gorgeous. So the pinkyish one, this one is called Awesome. And this one is more of a taupey gray brown, and it's called Mind Blowing. And I got 28 count Lugana to try on both of these. And then I may have just ordered another piece yesterday. She had like a 1-day sale, and she still had some of the Fortnite, and I got a piece of Ada to try. And then I had also grabbed this set of pins. So those came in, and then the only other thing was I was able to purchase one of Lady Dot Create's set of pins for relief efforts in Ukraine. She had these on her Etsy. She did 2 runs, and then I think she was unable to get more supplies. So I picked up a set of these. Soon, when I'm done and I need a new car project, I want to kit up Stitchy Princesses, I think it's called Sunflower Girl, and finish it in a pillow and use these pins in there. Kind of like these ones. Only they're not as, look how cute. They're glittery too. So that is it. Next 2 weeks, plans is just to soldier on. I don't think I have anything special coming up, just more of the same. I am planning on starting my summer berries sometime in April. I don't really have a date. We have school vacation coming up in April, so I don't know. I did finally pull some fabrics, so I have at least that started. But I want to get those done so that then I can put them out. I like to put things out for summer when school gets out, so mid-June. All right, I hope everyone has a great couple of weeks. I still am going to work on that block tutorial from Hands On Design. I was trying to find a time when I could do it up in my craft space. That is not going to happen. So I'm gonna have to do that one down here, which is fine. I just need to move some stuff around. That's one that will take a little time because I'll show you something and then I'll probably turn the camera off because it's gonna take me like an hour to get all the way around the block, and you don't need to sit there for that long. So that is next up. And then after that, I don't have any more tutorials planned. So if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Or something will come up eventually. So, all right, I will stop babbling and see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.